Success in life isn't what you know, it's how much you're prepared to rip in and have a go. I mean, knowing things is obviously important. Yeah. Like, you can't judge the size of someone's motor. And in life, that's everything.
The guy I went to school with had a tattoo on his arm. I remember it clear as day now, which is good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. And I think you just have to keep trying to get better.
When you lose that confidence, it's about finding what makes you tick again. It's about putting things into perspective and going back to the process.
If your business isn't going forward, it's going backwards because everyone around you is going forward. So if you're not, you're going backwards.
Yep. Talent's important, but discipline is more important, because your fallback position in life, if you've got the ability, has to always be disciplined. Yeah. Or else you end up just not quite getting to your potential, right?
Yeah. I've had heaps of good advice, Sam, but at the end of the day, dream big, possibilities are endless. And just believe in yourself.
Do or do not, there is no try, which means if you're going to do something in life, just do it, back yourself. Otherwise, don't do it at all. There's no trying if you're not 100% in.
Rightio, Nathan. We've got another
exciting episode.
Yeah. Of did you guys get the name wrong earlier?
Well, we've called it one property guy, two goats, three goats.
Yeah.
Two property guys and a goat. So we're trying to work out. So
it's one goat and the property guys. We're the property guys, and our goat today is Anna Kate.
Anna Kate.
Hey.
Hello.
Here we go.
How good to have Anna.
Regular podcaster.
Yeah, regular podcaster.
I've done one. I don't know if that's regular.
Yeah. Yeah, she is definitely first-time caller, second-time podcaster, Anna Kate. We are live on air with Anna today. Now, Anna, I think, is awesome in many ways, but I think she's got a cool story as well, because Anna, you sat, actually I'll take a step back. You now unbelievable lead agent in your own right, but for 17 years, did you sit in the side saddle?
I started probably 17 years ago when I first left school in the side saddle, as you would call it, as an associate PA EA, and then had kids for a while. So I did have a break and then came back 6 years ago. Yeah.
And interestingly enough, Anna started with the godfather of our business, Big Jimmy Ryan.
Oh,
so I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I was one of his 3 PAs when I was 18.
Yeah, alongside the great Dane Evans.
And another girl called Kylie at the time.
Kylie, Dane, and Anna Kate firing for Jimmy Ryan. So I think it's awesome, and I like to, I think about that often, that you are almost the godmother of our business, which is
immortal. Would
an
you
immortal.
say?
Yeah, almost. Who knows?
He was international.
He was the first ever international number one Australian. Yeah, so he was the first Australian to be internationally recognised as the number one for Harcourts. Yeah. So a huge achievement by Jimmy Ryan. But you spent 17 years as an EA associate, becoming a mum, all those sorts of things. In 2023, you ventured out on your own.
Yes.
And how do you think your 17 years prior, do you think a lot of that knowledge over that 17 years allowed you to hit the ground running faster than everybody else would normally? Because your first year was quite strong.
Definitely. 100%. I do give a lot of credit to that upbringing, I guess. It's like a childhood, your upbringing, but learning in the real estate infancy the ways to do it right, and as a whole. There's so much to learn in the real estate realm, and when you jump in as a lead agent and just try and figure it all out at once, it's overwhelming. It's just too much. Whereas I had the ability to learn over those years. There was things I learnt with Jim and how he did things that I still remember. And then with the previous agency I was with, I learnt a lot there. And I've kind of just taken bits and pieces that I like and formed my own process. But I do know that I wouldn't have been able to just jump in as a lead agent not knowing what I was doing and have the same first year. No way.
Like the rocky road of real estate, you're taking all the good parts, putting it all in together.
All the marshmallows and the what else?
The crackle,
red jellies,
the red frogs,
yeah.
And so Your first year as a lead agent, I think, was pretty explosive. I think you did 700,000 or something in fees in your first year. 890. Sorry.
Not counting.
890 in your first year as a lead agent, which I think is elite by anyone's status. What did you focus on in those first few months?
I have this thing in the back of my mind that when I'm working and I'm exhausted and, it's consistency, it's hard to be consistent all day, every day. I just have this thing in the back of my mind that says if I work harder than anyone else, then I'll be okay. I'll make it. I'll do well. And so for working with people as an employee, same thing. When I was worked to the bone, 12-hour days, whatever it may be, I was so grateful to do that because I thought, how cool, I'm working harder than anyone else and this is going to circle back around and reward me. And so when I joined Harcourt's Property Centre, I had that in my mind, just going work harder than anyone else. There's so many people trying to make it in the real estate industry and so many people come and go. And I just thought if I want to go and stay and make it on my own as a real estate agent, I've got to work super hard. And I just had a goal and I just wanted to prove myself and...
You've done it.
Yeah, we certainly made an impact because I remember when you joined the team and I'd go to the guys, who is this? Who's this lady and how long's she been in it? And when Sammy said, how about your transition, it was a phenomenal year. And I suppose if we put that down, what I've learnt about you is you're very competitive.
Maybe.
Has that always been there?
Yeah, that's just my whole world, my upbringing. My weekends was sport, whether I was on the golf course with my dad. I grew up on the golf course watching cricket, my brother, football, soccer. I mean, everything, like Bathurst. My dad would give me $50 to go buy lollies from the lolly shop and I'd sit there watching Bathurst all day. So it's
a lot of lollies.
I know. A big bowl, I'd fill it all up. So my upbringing was always competitive sport world, but I think where it really stems from is there was one point in my life when my mum remarried and there was 7 kids in the house at one point in time. So 4
Brady bunch.
My blood relatives and then 3 step siblings. And it was almost like I was the second youngest. And so dinner would be put on the table, like if you're having a roast or something, roast potato is the best. If you don't get in there and fight for it, you don't get any. Like you had to fight. So I guess it's just been thrown at me from my upbringing or circumstances. But yes, I am very competitive, to put it lightly.
Tell you what. Do you reckon she'd beat you to the potatoes?
I reckon I'd probably have her covered.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I've seen Anna firsthand be competitive in a sporting scenario, and it was frightening. A lot of people want success, right? So you spoke about there, you wanted to work harder than everybody else, and you knew that you'd be successful, which is great. But I imagine it's not everything, right? Because that's one thing. So what other standards do you hold yourself to? Because working hard, I know that there's plenty of hard workers in our business and in the real estate industry that probably haven't seen the success that you have. So what does, how do you work? Is it smarter as well? Like, I know you've got lots of structures and processes, but what are your standards? What are your default settings?
I think there's probably a few parts to this question. First thing would be the word faster, which I'll explore a little bit in a moment. Second thing is my attention to detail. And third thing is how much I actually genuinely care about people and the right outcome and result. It's not about me. Faster, that I have a word each year for what I want to achieve. And last year, my focus word was faster. And I was listening to, I don't know whether it was a reel or a podcast or something one day, and someone said something about if you have a task to do, right, if you've got 10 lists on your task, and if I get those 10 things knocked off 10 times as fast as someone else, then that frees me up to then do something else, build my business in another way, make more calls, So I just really doubled down and focused on being fast. And I mean, like, on my phone, I don't even text anymore. I just can't. I cannot stand sitting there watching someone text, like, blows my brain. Hey, Siri, send this, blah, 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 done. It's just quick and efficient. So that's a big thing that I've implemented into my business and my team. Second thing is my attention to detail. Like, there is an element of a perfectionism there. And I do notice little things. Spelling mistakes drives me insane. Like, if I'm sending an email to a seller and it's got spelling mistakes, how do they expect me to then present their home in the best light if I can't even get an email right? Whether that's right or wrong, that's just how I am. And I really high attention to detail. And then the third thing is probably really genuinely caring about the seller. I just had a conversation today with one of my sellers, and they said maybe it's not the right time for us. And usually as agents, you go in and you double down and you try and get them to sign, and it's a good market, come on, get your property on the market. Whereas I know if I genuinely care about them, that business will circle back around to me, and it's about their goal. Like, it's their life. If they're selling and buying another house, they're the one who has to live with that decision. I've got other property I can sell.
That's because you said Siri before.
Do you want me to turn it off?
No, that's fine. That's quite funny.
That's Siri.
This is a first in podcasting world for us.
Just had to shut up my Siri.
Siri just decided to have a chat. Thanks, Siri.
That was ChatGPT saying, use me for your spelling.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No. So, so faster. Again, I think that's incredible advice, because, if you do things faster and you free up yourself, you free yourself up. I think that is certainly commendable. What else?
What the three things I said? Yeah. Faster, attention to detail,
attention
caring.
to detail, yeah, and the caring.
That's right.
The caring is where we got to before Siri interrupted us so rudely. But
it's not just about signing someone up right then and there if they're not 100% comfortable and ready. It's better to nurture the relationship, give them good, honest advice, and you'll get the business back tenfold.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that is great advice.
Awesome.
From a care factor, sometimes it's not right. And we often, will reflect on opportunities that come across our desk, and sometimes, there was a young guy with us the other day, and we'd love for him to join the business, but it was also one of those conversations where we were sort of like, hey mate, like maybe it's not the right time for you and us now, but we'll still be here. We're not going anywhere. Yeah. So you go do what you've got to do, and I imagine that's the advice that you are trying to relay to your clients, is that you're there to help them when they need help, not sign them up today because that's what suits you and your business plan.
I think I've had a lot of conversations around that in the last couple of months, more so than I have previously. And the shift in my mindset in business was, you want any listing and you're a bit of a bulldog when you start, and it's like you jam yourself in people's faces to try and get the business. Whereas now I go, it's about their goal. It's not about my goal. They don't care if I can sell their house now or not. It's about what they want to achieve. Yeah. And so that's where I really focus a lot more now.
Yeah.
And taking that sort of attitude, do you see an uplift in referrals? Like, because people are really comfortable.
Massive.
They're happy to refer you to friends.
Massive. In the last 2 weeks, I have had more referrals into my business in the last 3 years.
There you go. Comes back tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So proof's in the pudding.
Absolutely. So that's how you deal with clients. Internally in the business, you've been a lead agent for a short period of time. And we've talked about, you show some amazing leadership traits. How does culture look for you, and what sort of team would you want to build around you as a leader?
I will never forget being an employee and what that feels like. And I think it's very easy for a leader to lose touch of reality. And I don't ever want to do that. I also know it's easy to, as an employee, feel like you're just working a bit of a slave and just doing the tasks here and there, and your boss has all the freedom to go here, there and everywhere. And so I made a conscious decision that I was going to lead by example and always work harder than my team, and so that, well, they, one, feel like they're appreciated, and that's the environment, that's the culture to learn from, but not resentful either. Like, that can be a real slippery slope. And I know from my experience as an employee, when I was happy and loved what I was doing, I loved my environment, and that had a direct effect on my workflow and how efficient I was and the culture of the workplace. And so I am big about making sure my team is happy, everyone's happy, and that I am there with them holding their hand. It's not like they're a slave. I just don't ever want my team to feel like that. Culture-wise, though, I am pretty fun and positive and like to have a lunch here and there. And I just think it's like...
Beers with the boys.
Yeah, beers with the boys. I just think that's a big balance to it as well, because it's work-life balance, but you work hard and you can have those moments to enjoy your time too.
Yeah.
How do you balance the work life? Because you've still got young kids. And how do you find
How
that?
old's Texas? 2?
Nearly 3.
Nearly 3.
3 in April. I think I'm still learning to balance the work-life stuff, to be honest. I think it's easy to be consumed by real estate, and I have been through periods of my career with previous agencies where my kids have taken a back seat to work, and I know what that's like, and I can't get that time back with them. So I am more conscious of that now than ever. So I am making sure that my girls know that when I'm working, it's for a purpose, and then I do create specific time to have one-on-one time with my kids. So, we just went away on a cruise, having time for my girls where I'll take them out to dinner or to a movie, or with just one-on-one with each of them. My little baby is 3. His daycare is different, but he does need his mummy time on a couch every night. He just likes to sit there and know mum's there for at least like half an hour. So that's usually every night before he goes to bed, is sitting there with mum. But it is a balance still. It is tricky.
Yeah. And you've got, one of the things I admire most about you, you've got this insatiable appetite to improve. And I know when we first started, we used to catch up, and we had a meeting recently around projects, and we talk about, we need projects for Team Anna Kate, because you work well with projects to improve your business. And sometimes they're little 1% things, or, hey, let's try this or let's do that. But where does that, is that just because of your competitiveness to be better, or where does that, appetite to improve come from?
Yeah, probably a little bit about wanting to be better, to be the best that I can be. But also I get a bit bored. Like, if I just feel like everything's flowing and it's just I'm on top of everything, I've mastered all of these things, I'm sort of like, what's next? What's next? Where's my next challenge? What do I need to work on? What do I need to fine tune? And I just needed something else to get my mind working. And I feel like those projects are awesome. If you give yourself too much at once, like as a lead agent we were talking about before, jump in and they learn it all at once, it's overwhelming and you crumble. So those are fantastic, where I go, right, let's build this element of my business, this, got that sorted, everything's functioning right, add another layer on top.
Yeah.
Everything's functioning, add another layer on top. I think if you stop doing that and you don't keep doing that, that's boring and complacent, and you go backwards if you're not moving forward.
So what's a week look like for Anna Kate at work? A working week?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so Mondays is very much recap from the weekend, calling all of the buyers that we haven't been able to get in contact with on Saturday afternoon, all of the owner feedback reports, negotiating any deals. Mondays is just sort of not much appointments unless it's really important. So getting on top of the weekend. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays is appraisals, sorting out whatever needs to happen for each listing. a few moments in there. There'll be school pickup or something, or netball training of an afternoon on a Tuesday. And then Friday is really getting ready for Saturday's open homes. Throughout the week, there is also moments with my team. Like, for example, Tuesday morning, we'll have a team meeting and reassess everything. I've got a whiteboard that is like the membrane of my business. I love it. So we'll all sit there and it's like a brainstorming session. We'll go through which property is where within their selling journey. Are they almost ready? Do we have any buyers for it? What buyers did we meet over the weekend? Would any of them be interested in any of those properties? So it's like this mad scientist session. We also have like a marketing session just to figure out what we can do for my business. So there's always something growing there, a social media session. Those ones are more monthly. You don't need them every week. And just appointments. I'm pretty much driven by my team and the appointments they put in my diary. And
do you have numbers that you're trying to hit there?
Yeah, so in terms of appraisals or calls,
listing presentations, buyer appointments, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily have a set goal for how many appraisals throughout the week. I don't know whether it's just my business or whether the structure of how I've got it set up, but I am not a massive appraisal agent. I'm not sitting there doing 30 appraisals a week. I do more of the servicing my clients and pre-market stuff and getting them ready and helping them find another property. So it's more of me doing the groundwork. So by the time they are ready to sell, it's a no-brainer and they're calling me and I don't even have to do an appraisal. So I'm not sure if naturally I've just structured my business like that by coincidence or not. But in terms of calls, we have 30 calls a day, every day. Kim within my team does 30 buyer calls. Preston within my team does more of the prospecting, cold data calls, and I'm onto all of the lead generation warm pipeline.
Yeah. And you also have these processes and structures through spreadsheets, Realtor. You love your database. I think, you know, that whole love the one you're with saying for you is a really strong point. I know you got VAs as well, and your previous podcast that I saw you on was with VA for you. So what do they do within your business?
Wow. Where do I start? Okay. So one is cold calling. Almost all day, every day. The other one is administration. I have had a shift in my business lately. I've got one at the moment, but this is my typical setup.
Yeah.
One's cold calling all day, every day. Once they get a warm lead, it then filters through to the administration VA who preps the realtor and the market updates and then sends them through to my team who then proofs them to make sure that they're all accurate because they're in the Philippines. So I'm just, once again, a bit of a perfectionist, make sure it's all right. Then we give the okay, then it goes back to the VAs, they send it out. Once they get a market update, they are put on a 3-monthly roster. And so then my VAs manage that. And every 3 months they get an updated one. So they track that, send it back through to us, approve it, send back. So once we've got those market updates, they sit within my 3-monthly ecosystem. And then they're the people that I'm ringing to try and get them from the 3-monthly market update onto my next pipeline, which would be the chip and chase, where they're getting contacted monthly instead of every 3 months. And then from there, I'm trying to get them onto my hot pipeline, which is my whiteboard that they're selling, they're on, and I'm working with them every day.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Okay. What does the Etiquette do outside of work? Who's Etiquette outside of work? Because we've seen the fiercely competitive, very focused work Etiquette. Who's the personal one?
Well, obviously I'm a mum. Like that's a big thing with, yes, there's real estate, but equally in my life, I love my family and my kids as much as work and real estate. Outside of that, I have a lot of friends. I'm very big in the Bayside community. Like I live and breathe Manly, Bayside, Gumdale, Wakeley. From my girls going to school at Gumdale, sports events, netball, things on the weekend, always catching up with friends who I've met through. My girls being from prep now in year 9, I've created some awesome relationships throughout the Bayside that I'm always somewhere. I'm always either working or at Manly Hotel or at Manly Boathouse or hanging out with my family or, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Geez, I'm tired after
yeah.
that.
What next, guys? What else do you got for me?
Oh, wow.
What does...
Impressive.
Yeah, because you're not ever going to settle for good enough, right?
No.
So how great do you think you can become?
Well, based on what we were talking about before with me being competitive, you'd probably expect me to say the best, like number one. But can I answer it from the angle of how good do I want to become?
Yeah.
I want to be in a position where my business is so smooth sailing. Like we haven't really touched too much on my systems and processes, but that's a huge part of my business. And I want it to be like I get a listing, it triggers that and everyone knows what they're doing. And I've got all the supports and systems in place. So that's functioning well. I am known as one of the lead agents in my core area. So people start to ring me and I'm known for being a good, genuine agent in a certain suburb, which I'm yet to achieve. Like I'm not a lead agent in one area, selling quite a few different areas. And then with that, then also to not skip a beat as a mum, because you can be so good as an agent and the top and number one in the world, but if my family's left behind along the way, I don't think that's great. Like that's not good.
No.
I don't want that kind of good.
We spoke about it with Luke Burden around you choose your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right? And if one of the things you're not choosing is you're not going to sacrifice your kids and your family, then there's another sacrifice somewhere, and it's just working out what that sacrifice is.
Yeah.
So I suppose to sum up the answer and paraphrase your question, you're happy to build as big a business as you possibly can with systems and support that allows you to not sacrifice time with your family.
Totally.
And yeah, I think that's incredible in itself, right? Because there's no monetary value on that. That could be 10 million, it could be 1 million.
Yeah, I actually don't know what that looks like.
And we don't know what it looks like. 2026, what's the goal?
To start to work out those systems and processes and really fine tune everything as much as they're already there, just to keep going, improving on them. I am in a position where I have more support now in both business and family. So that will allow me to double what I've done, if not more, which is the goal figure-wise, and to keep going, just keep doing what I'm doing.
And if you could go back to the start of your lead agent journey, what is the one bit of goat-worthy advice you'd want a sales associate to think about before making that decision that you think you overlooked?
I think people think it's easier than what it is, and they come in a bit, I guess, especially if I want to be careful what I say, but sometimes a bit too confident, thinking that real estate's easy. And I see it all the time. I'm going for it right now with people in real estate who are starting out, and they go, I've got a lead. And it's almost like they think it's going to turn into a listing like that. And then when it doesn't, or they decide not to sell anymore, or they choose to go with another agent, it's so disheartening. And it's almost now where I am in my business, I look back on that and I try to explain to them, like, it means nothing to me now. They come and go. It's real estate. Whereas it's so consuming to someone starting out. And I think that if someone comes in too confident going, oh yeah, easy, well, let's just get listings left, right and center, and they get a few knocks and are then disheartened and it affects their business, it can be a spiral very quick. So if you start out knowing that you're playing the long game, and it does require a lot of work to get listings actually on the market, don't just translate like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably something that I would say, just to reframe your mindset starting out to build momentum quicker and not be knocked down when you get the negative situations coming at you.
So true. We all come in with big rose-coloured glasses, all excited, and we don't always take the advice when we first start, but just be humble and park your ego to the side and go in with an open mind and stay disciplined.
And do the work.
100%.
I also think you need to be obsessed, like, to make it. There's so many agents in this industry. I love watching all of those documentaries on, you know, Conor McGregor or David Beckham or, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or there's like a few different ones on Netflix. They are literally obsessed with what they're doing, and you do need a period of time where you are obsessed with what you're doing. It's not just half in, half out, or giving it a go. Like, it consumed me to the point where I now have to go, hold on, let's make sure my family and everyone's okay, because it's so easy for me and my personality to be consumed and obsessed. But I do feel like you need to be all in. Like, basketball players are training, tennis players, like swimmers, they train all day, every day, the amount of work they do. So we need to be like that with real estate if you want to be the best.
Mate, from an elite point of view, you're 100% right. Like, you have to be obsessed, and you also have to be able to take a knock.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, I think Roger Federer, the greatest tennis player of all time, won 51% of his points.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's pretty that should be heartening for people to hear that the greatest player of all time in that particular sport won 51% of his points. And you know, I'm sure, you know, from an elite mindset point of view, having that obsession is only going to help, because I see some people who think they want to be a real estate agent. You know,
until they get a hard knock.
or they think it's going to be easy, right?
That's probably the biggest thing. They think it's easy.
Oh, long lunches, coffee shops. Oh, this is so easy. You just earned 50 grand and it took you 3 weeks. Well, no, it didn't take me 3 weeks. I knew that person 4 years ago. And I've had 10 meetings. And they went with another agent first, so I copped that knock, and then I've listed it, and then I've sold it, and I made that 3 weeks look real easy.
It's like the overnight success, which is just not even a thing.
Well, Anna, I think you proved your goat worthiness.
Thank you.
This afternoon, I did have some quick fire questions for you, which we like to do at the end of each podcast. So, your position on husbands and wives working together?
Not loaded at all.
I'm proof's in the pudding. I'm doing it.
You're doing it? No, I like it.
So am I, mate.
Yeah.
And it's working so far.
So far, so good.
Yep.
Now, who is more competitive, you or Preston?
That's a great question.
Do you know,
that is a good one.
Like, our version of fun is like sitting on the couch and I'll be like, I'll give you $50 if you can get this ball in that little bucket over there. Like, this is our kids. We'll like set up little mini golf courses with our babies' golf clubs and like have all these bets. We are a very competitive family, so I don't know there. I think I'm probably a bit more vicious.
Yeah.
He's more competitive
Preston's
internally.
Preston is many things, but he's not vicious.
Whereas I'm angry, competitive, aggressive,
Mate, I
vicious.
get it. I'm barred from family board games.
Oh, don't play board games with me.
Audio, I've got nothing after that. Most competitive person I know, I'm backing you in to be absolutely the best version of yourself that you want to be in this industry. So well done, Anna.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work, mate. You've done a fantastic job.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
No dramas. Thanks, Anna. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of One Goat and the Property Guys. Remember, make sure you vote for if they were a goat or a spud during the last episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to YouTube and at Apple Podcasts so that we can keep creating great goat-worthy memories.